here had a chance to review the new, okay. Is there a motion then to approve the IP plan as presented here?
I'll move.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion is approved.
Thank you.
Alright, thank
Do we
you.
need to sign off on
Yeah, I
that
have
so
the
you can get
sheet
it submitted?
right here, so we
Okay.
can, I have the sign-up sheet.
Is 4 signatures enough?
Yes. I know you have to get to court, so.
Well,
You
I'm
can-
actually gonna be well on time.
All right, and then we'll move to number 7, then public comment.
You spelled my name.
I'd like to.
Would you just repeat your name again, sir, for the record?
All right, for the record, the name is William Jones. And what I want to talk about is a continuation, if you will, of what I discussed at the last prison board meeting, which is about the harsh treatment of certain types of inmates. Now, I have one question. If you have someone come into the jail who is being charged with a homicide type of charge, how are they handled initially? At least for the first few weeks that they're there. Are they put in isolation immediately, or classified otherwise, or what? What's the procedure for that? Don't know.
Well, I just don't want to answer on that right now, sir. There will be a new warden starts Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to answer out of turn for what's going to go on, but if you would attend the regular meeting at the, what is it?
The 28th.
28th, yes, Wednesday the 28th. The new warden will be here and be able to express his policy to you.
So he has the, so he's going to have to change the policy, or
Well, I don't know.
or
He's
he may
going
or
to
may
review,
not?
and that'd be his decision, right?
Okay, but as of right now, or up to right now, what was the policy, or?
Well, in all fairness, I think the policy is the same for any kind of inmate. Obviously, the severity of the crime of which they're accused determines certain things. Some inmates are suicide risks. Some are not considered to be suicide risks. That is all a matter of classification, which is done at the prison, and I have not read the policy lately because it has not been an issue. To me, your question's kind of loaded. It sounds like you have a specific complaint about a specific individual, and it would be probably more direct for you to just say what your complaint is about.
I'm building it.
Well, I understand that. So you're
Mhm.
you're luring us in with some kind of a trick
Well,
question so that you can
no,
then say,
no.
but you're not doing what your policy says. So
I disagree
Why don't you
with
just
the
say
loaded
what-
part, because in order for me to make my comment, I need to know if what I'm initially thinking is correct. Because if I'm wrong,
just tell us what
then
you
I'll
think is
sit down.
correct, and then
Well, the reason I'm bringing it up is, one, I brought it up at the last meeting.
okay, and I had to
Okay.
leave
Yeah,
before
I
all the
understand
comments,
that.
so I didn't hear it.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and just give a brief overview on that. I'm not going to go into it as much as I did last time. That is concerning my son. Okay, he's in there on a homicide, criminal homicide charge.
And his name is?
Shellhammer, Christopher Shellhammer.
Okay.
Okay, and through his attorney, well, I'm not going to get into what his attorney has told him, but Chris was placed in isolation on the advice or on the direction of Deputy Warden Zavada, which is what I addressed at the meeting last time. Okay, and he based his decision on a letter that Chris wrote to his mother. Okay, and Chris wrote in the letter about some things he was seeing inside, abuses by COs, and one particular CO that I personally know, and I'm not, it doesn't shock me. Okay, let's put it that way, about the abuses, and he was also quick to say that most of them down there are honorable. They do the best job they can under their circumstances in which they have to work with. But there is always a few bad apples. And he tried to point out a few of those bad apples. And, and Chris, who has two medically disabled sons. One just turned 4 and the other is 2. The 2-year-old is autistic. The 4-year-old has a genetic disorder called Barth syndrome, which is extremely, extremely rare. Okay, he's 4, but he has the physical abilities of someone under 2. He had 2 strokes when he was 20 months old. Okay, so those are some of the things I addressed. But what started my comment was that his fiance, which is the boy's mother, sent him updates as to the boy's therapies, their what do you call it, his medical treatments and other things, and to keep him, and plus some questions that his therapist wanted answered. But all those letters were rejected by the prison and sent back to his fiancee Jessie. And someone wrote on the envelope WTF, which I have a copy of. And I tried to address that and it was glossed over. And when I saw that first, I had contacted Deputy Warden Zavada and asked him about it. And he told me that he would discipline the people involved. It was only 1 of 2 people. But what he did instead was put my son Chris in isolation, in a turtle suit, in a cell covered with feces on the wall and lingering smell of pepper spray, and kept him there for over 2 weeks.
Have
And
you filed some type of a written complaint?
we're
Because
working on it.
obviously it's
We're
you're
working
not
on that.
required to do that. When I say written complaint, if you want to address something with the prison board, why don't you put everything that you're alleging into some kind of a statement, and we can address it to the warden and ask them to give us a response, and then we can hear both sides of it instead of just one side.
Okay.
And I mean, that's just the whole way that anything comes to a better result, is if we are able to hear both sides at the same time, instead of hearing one side and then saying, okay, well, by next month's meeting,